Hi. Ayan. So, hi guys. So, our topic for today sa safety management system ay introduction to safety management. Our learning objectives. At the end of this module, participants will be able to explain the need for the strategies and the key features of the safety management. The course outline, the safety stereotype, the management dilemma, need for safety management, strategies for the safety management, the imperative of change, 8 blocks of safety management, 4 responsibilities for managing safety. So ano nga ba yung the safety stereotype? So ang alam naman natin in safety, okay, or in the word stereotype, when there's a group of people na mayroon silang pinaniniwalaan. So, in the world of aviation, ito ang pinaniniwalaan nila. In this airline, safety is first. Even though you are in different company, kailangan laging ay nasa pinaka-top priority nyo ay yung safety. Okay? Kaya nga minsan, pag tinatanong din sa mga interview nyo or pwedeng magkaroon kayo ng interview, para sa inyo, what is safety? Siyempre sasagot niyo lang din naman, dapat din is zero accidents ang mangyayari sa inyong work. Ayan. So, what is the fundamental objective of a business organization? Siyempre, sinasabi is to achieve the production objectives. In safety management rationale, in order to achieve its production objectives, the management of any aviation organization requires the management of human business processes. So, in managing safety or sinasabi nilang protection is one such business process. In safety management is a core business function just as financial management, HR management, etc. That's why this brings about the potential dilemma for management. And when we talk about the management dilemma, there are always a two possible choices, okay? Or meron tayong pagpipilian which way ka laging mapupunta or meron laging two possibilities ng workflow. Ayan. So, in management level, there's a protection and production. Okay? So, when it comes to protection, siyempre, ang nagbabalanse pa rin dito sa dalawa na 'to, ulitin natin, ay yung siyempre, yung resources. Hindi naman tayo magmo-move if walang resources mismo yung mismong organization. So, when it comes to protection, all safety, sabihin natin, procedures ay nandito, trainings, equipments, ayan, kasama yung mga protection. When it comes to production, siyempre, uh, the organizational product. Example, you're a owner ng isang organization or your product is coffee, and then itong school, siyempre, yung pinaka-product nila, siyempre, is yung kayo, mga students. So, kung makikita nyo dito, okay, if puro ka produce ng product mo, okay, so your production is too much. Well, sabihin natin, oo nga, maganda. Or yes, yung revenue or yung kita ng company mo is good, maganda, malaki, yan. But at some point, it may cause catastrophe. Why? Because the resources comes from the production, not the protection. In world of aviation, you always produce, let's say, aircraft, or you always produce flights. So when it comes to production, like maintenance check, A check, B check, or any preventive maintenance is hindi mo natututukan or hindi ka nagkakaroon ng follow-up. Okay? Even though mataas ang production mo, the protection or yung silbi ng mga maintenance check mo ay wala, nagkakaroon ka ng catastrophe, magkakaroon ng accidents, one time, big time, mas malaki pa ang mas magagastos mo kesa yung mga kinita mong revenue or pinakinita mo talaga. And then here naman, when it comes to protection naman, okay, all your resources you put in protection because you want your organization to be perfectly advanced, top notch. The organization may go to the bankruptcy. Okay, so you hire people, all of them, you put them on trainings. You want advancement on technology, you buy them. Okay? So, but hindi mo natututukan yung product ng organization, the resources, or your funds, hindi pumapasok or wala nang pumapasok. That's why pumupunta sa may bankruptcy. Yun yung management dilemma, okay? Na dapat yung production and your protection will always be balanced. So we have here the safety space of the production and protection. Okay. So between the safety space and the bankruptcy, there's the financial management, and between the safety space and the catastrophe is safety management. So all in all, uh, you're within the safety space and napupunta ka sa bankruptcy, what you will do or nararamdaman ng company mo na hindi po walang kinikita, you will think of a way, okay, para mabawi naman yung mga ginawa mong protection from your company like buy equipments, okay, training people. So, you have to produce more products. And then, ganun din naman when papunta ka naman, you always produce, you will check what is happening within the organization. So, if yung mga taong need ng training, ayan, or kailangan pa ng equipments, lahat ng bago, maybe. So, yun naman yung tututukan mo. So, between the production and the protection, you always balance them to avoid the bankruptcy and the catastrophe. So, before, napag-usapan na natin itong the evolution of safety thinking. We have the technical factors, the human factors, the organizational factors. To elaborate them more, the history of progress in aviation safety in the technical era, early in 1900s until the late 1960s, the aviation emerged as a form of mass transportation. So in which identified safety deficiencies were initially related to the technical factors and technological failures. So, yun na, di ba? More on nagkakaroon ng system failures palagi in the technical area. So the focus of the safety endeavors was placed on the investigation and improvement of technical factors. So in the human factor era, from the early 1970s until the mid 1990s, frequency of aviation accidents was significantly reduced due to major technological advances and enhancement to the safety regulations. So kung makikita nyo, okay, nagkaroon na ng technological advances and yun na, nagkaroon na silang enhancement in safety regulation in their technologies or their equipments. So what their focus here in the human factor era is the human factor. So nagkaroon ng issue including the man and the machine interface. Okay, so this means the liveware and the hardware. Okay? Pinag-usapan natin before na LH. Ayan. Si liveware and hardware. So in here, 'di ba, we talk about karon ng sabihin natin kaya minsan nagkaroon din ng term na dirty dozen. So the people ay nagkaroon ng lack of knowledge and most likely complacency because of the advancement of technology. That's why in the human factor era, nagkaroon sila ng mga trainings so para mabawasan yung error ng human performance. So in the organizational era, from the mid 1990s to the early 2010s, the safety began to be viewed from a systematic perspective, which to encompass organizational factors in addition to human and technical factor. So the notion of the organizational accident was introduced considering the impact of organizational culture and policy on the effectiveness of the safety risk control. So this new approach is based on the routine collection and analysis of data using proactive as well as reactive methodologies to monitor known safety risks and detect emerging safety issues. So let's repeat this. In organization, nagkaroon sila ng routine collection or yun nga, analysis of data. So if tagal na company ka na, let's say sa Airlink, okay, or here in this organization, you will be based on the data, on the previous data you've collected para magkaroon ng monitoring in safety risk and you can always detect the safety issues. Yun nangyayari. Siyempre, if you're starting a new company, you may have references from the other company para naman magkaroon ka ng flow or you will have an idea on how to assess the situation or in other terms is yung magkaroon ka ng risk assessment. So safety issues are the byproduct of activities related to production, services delivery, an analysis of organizational resources and goals, allows for balance and realistic allocation of resources between production and production goals, which supports the needs of the organization. So the product services provided by any aviation organization must be delivered safely. So why safety management? The first ultra safe industrial system. So less than one catastrophic breakdown per million production cycle. So in technological era, syempre, focus sila more on the technical factors and nagkaroon sila ng accident investigations. In the human factor era, nagkaroon sila ng safe system. So they focus on the human factor issues, including the man and machine interface. And they improve their technology and regulations. So here are the incident investigation. So kung mapapansin nyo is 10 to negative 3. So syempre, accident investigation is one time. So kaya sinasabi is less than one catastrophic breakdown per million product cycles. And then nagkaroon naman ng ultra safe system. So business management approach to safety. So nagkaroon na ng SMS and then nagkaroon na ng routine collection and analysis of operational data. So in here, naman in the organizational era, mas nakita nilang mas madaming sabihin natin na-discover sa isang organization. Okay? Lahat ng mga latent conditions is na-foresee or nakita nila. Kaya mas naging effective si safety management. And then here, okay, the theory of practical drift. So first, the baseline performance initial system design based on the three fundamental assumption. So meron tayong technology, properly trained people, and then regulation and procedure. Hmm. So once operationally developed, the system perform as designed following baseline performance most of the time. So in reality, operational performance is different from the baseline performance. No matter how careful and well thought out its design planning have been, meron tayong tinatawag na practical drift from the baseline. So performance is foreseeable in any system. So ano ba yung mga reasons sa practical drift? So technology doesn't always operate as predicted. Kaya sinasabi natin, minsan bigla-bigla na lang nagkakaroon ng panibagong technological failure. Magugulat ka na, example, na foresee mo yung mouse mo, nawalan ng ilaw, and then the other time, mayroon nang na-break na yung sa USB port, ayan. So, hindi sila lagi nag-operate ng tama. So, procedures that cannot be executed as planned under certain operational conditions and regulations that are not applicable within the certain contextual limitations, introduction of changes to the system, including the additional of new components. Ayan, kasama yun sa mga practical drift. Because sometimes, uh, nagkaroon ka ng bagong technology, kulang ka pa rin sa training, boom, babagsak. Hindi na mabagsak bigla organization, magkakaroon ka agad ng problem. And yun, the interaction with other system. Why safety management and imperfect system? So ito nga sinasabi natin, when you have a system design, ito na yung pinaka-operational deployment isang organization, you will have your baseline performance, which is lahat is okay, stable, baseline performance. And then you will have your operational performance. So between your baseline and operational, nandito yung practical drift, which means nagkakaroon ka ng mga unpredicted scenarios or unpredicted failures happening in your organization. Ayan. So, once na meron kang na-discover na pagkakamali, example from your um, equipment, yan, equipment, and then, parang on equipment, yung pala, na-discover mo kulang ka sa training, catastrophe ang aabutin. So, or nandyan din, syempre, yan. Let's say, yan yung mga latent conditions. So, nagkakaroon ka ng mga active failures. Ayan. Magkakaroon na ng domino effect yan. If hindi mo na-assess ng maayos yung risk dun sa isang organization. So, syempre, dapat ah, nagkakaroon ka ng safety management, aagapan mo sa pinakauna para or dun ka na sa may hahanapin mo na mismo yung mga risk kaya nagkakaroon ng hazard identification kung sa una talaga, okay? Para hindi na magkaroon ng failure within your baseline performance. Ayan, dyan yung SMS sa unahan. So, why is that? So, bakit sa unahan ulit? So, this is to capture and analyze the information within the practical drift for the control and mitigation of the safety risk. So, the closer to the beginning of the practical drift, the information can be systematically captured, the greater number of hazard and safety risk that can be predicted and addressed. So, this leads for the redesign or improvements of the system. Ayan. So, ulitin natin, no? If hindi mo na-address ng maayos or masyado kang malayo from the beginning, dyan mo na-discover yung pagkakamali, you need to redesign or you might need a improvement in your system. So, ganun lang kadali. So, however, the unchecked proliferations, local adaptations, and personal strategies may lead the practical drift too far from the baseline performance, leading to a greater possibility of occurrence. O, yun din naman. Okay? So, sinasabi, the unchecked proliferations of local adaptations. So, it might mali yung strategic plan mo, ayan, to solve the hazard na na-identified mo, malaki yung possibility na yung practical drift mo ay lumayo or yung occurrence nung pinaka-risk nung accident or incident na mangyari. That's why you gather data or you have to analyze your data collection thoroughly to identify and to mitigate it ng maayos. So, the essential is invisible to the eyes. Why is that? Siyempre, ang madalas mo lang nakikita palagi is yung bigla na lang accident. So, that's why in aviation, one time, big time lang ang pag-crash ng eroplano. So, saan mo ba nakikita yon? Maybe it's in the serious incidents or ito din yung number of occurrence na nangyari. 30 to 100. Incidents, 100 to 1,000. And then, number of occurrence ng latent conditions is 1,000 to 400. But still, if i-connect natin, okay, if hindi mo na-identify ang as early as possible, yung kay latent conditions, ito yung sinasabi natin bilang siyang pwede maging accident. So, the focus of hazard identification, ayan. Siyempre, if mag-focus ka sa accidents, makikita mo kaagad na ang iyong practical drift or yung, siyempre, pagkakamali is from maybe regulations agad, trainings, and technology. Yan agad yung maapektuhan or naapektuhan. Kaya ka nagkaroon ng catastrophe. So, pag nag-focus ka ng hazard identification mo in the latent conditions, so from the beginning, so you might have yung save the situation, okay, or ma-minimize mo yung magkaroon man ng incident to accident. Ayan. Kaya yung CSMS laging nasa pinakaulo. That's why kakaroon tayo ng safety first. So, next is reactive safety management. Okay, so in reactive safety management, investigations of accident and serious incidents based upon the notion of waiting until something breaks to fix. Okay, so ulitin natin. That's why it's called reactive. Na-explain naman siya uh, ng mabilis lang by the word itself. Okay, nagkakaroon ka lang ng action when something happen. Okay? So, simplest example, pag may nadulas, oops, may nadulas na, lagyan natin ng wet floor. Yun. Yun yung kay reactive safety management. So, most appropriate for is situation involving failure in technology and unusual events. Siyempre, pag unusual events, nangyari na. Tsaka pa lang magkakaroon ng action to fix it. Or, yun nga, ano ba? To mitigate the situation. The contribution of reactive approaches to safety management depends on the extent to which the investigation goes beyond and by triggering the cause or causes and include a contributory factor and finding us the risk. In proactive safety management, so mandatory and voluntary reporting systems, nagkakaroon tayo ng safety audits and surveys. Okay, so based upon the notion that the system failures can be minimized, so identifying risk the system before it fails and taking the necessary action to reduce the safety risk. Okay? So, ang nangyayari dito sa proactive, okay, nagkakaroon ka na ng risk, hazard identification, and then um, risk assessment. Okay? Para hindi na mangyari, example, or hindi na lumala. Okay, doon tayo sa hindi na lumala. So, example from this AVT laboratory, nagkaroon ako ng HIRA dyan, risk identification and, hazard identification and risk assessment. Okay? Na yung glare, which is yung sinad ng araw is nakaka-stress sa eyes. Yun yung pinaka-simple causes and it may cause syempre headache, ayan. Minsan or yung source sa ice. So, na-identify na natin and then bago pa siya makaapekto to anybody else, na-identify natin, imi-mitigate natin siya. Okay, i-reduce natin yung risk nung glare. That's why lalagyan natin siya ng tawag ito, yung frosted na salamin or hindi salamin, yung sticker to lessen the glare in the laboratory. And then we have predictive safety management. So confidential reporting system, flight data analysis, normal operations monitoring. So based upon the notion that safety management is best accomplished by looking for trouble, not for waiting it. So aggressively seek information from variety of sources which may be indicative of emerging safety risks. So in other terms, um, ginagawa mo na to para hindi mangyari. You collected data from other resources or nagkaroon ka ng references that might happen to your organization one day, pero nagkaroon ka na ng proper resolution for it para hindi na nga siya mangyari. Ayan. So we will continue the topic. The next topic will be navigating the drift. Okay, guys. So here's the continuation of our topic. So here is the navigating the drift. Wait. So, ayan, yung organization nyo, let's say it's in between the baseline performance and your operational performance. So, syempre dapat sa organization nyo is dapat nga is mababa or nakuha nyo na yung hazard identification. So, yung risk assessment nyo is konti na lang. That's why, kung mapapansin nyo, yung mga arrows na maliliit, ayan, when yung mga latent conditions ay lumalaki, binababa niya yung organizations nyo to have a catastrophe. So, dapat ma-pull up nyo yung organization nyo from the baseline or sabihin natin from the top para hindi lumala yung accidents or hindi magkaroon ng accidents in your organization. So, your navigational aids here is the reactive, proactive, and predictive. So, ulitin natin, no? So, reactive is kung saan merong nangyari. Tsaka ka palang magkakaroon ng tamang actions. So, yung proactive naman, okay, is meron ka nang na-identify na hindi pa nangyayari, but na-identify mo na merong risk. So, you will find a solution to minimize it or pwede ding to eliminate. So, meron namang minimize and eliminations na nangyayari when it comes to proactive. Sa predictive naman, okay, hindi pa nangyari pero nagkaroon ka na ng collective data that it might happen. So, hindi, so kailangan mo na siyang gawan ng solution for it or resolution na hindi na dapat talaga mangyari. And meron pa isa is example in the world of aviation sa maintenance. So, pag nagkaroon ka ng predictive, it's parang preventive siya. Okay. You're continuing your procedures or mine-maintain mo yung example kaya nagkakaroon ng 50 hours inspection, 25 hour annual, mine-maintain mo yung pagche-check para hindi mangyari yung para hindi may mangyaring incident, 'yan. So, gano'n yung sa may predictive. So, 'yun, once you identify it, nagkakaroon ka ng safer culture in your organization. So, strategies, level of intervention and tools. So, 'yan. Yan si hazard, catastrophe. So, in safety management level, meron kang high, middle, and low. Yan. So, nandito si predictive. So, FDA, FDM, kakaroon ka ng direct observation system. So, when in proactive, ASR or ASRS, surveys and audits. So, hanapin natin, no? Or hanapin nyo din. Dapat hinahanap nyo. FDM. Okay. So, flight data analyst, when it comes to FDM, flight data monitoring. Ayan. So, in terms of aviation, term to. Okay. So, pag flight data analyst ka or nagkakaroon ka ng analysis, flight data analyst in the system, ah example sa aircraft to. Sa aircraft, nagkakaroon ka ng hard landing, nagkakaroon ka ng overspeeding, okay? Nagkakaroon ng record 'yun sa isang organization, okay? Kasi sa example kung ikaw ay commercial flight or wait, okay, so balik tayo, no? Sa FDA, flight data analysis. So, yun na nga, sa flight data analysis, you're monitoring, uh, example, yung overspeeding, yung height, or yung altitude na ginagamit ng isang aircraft, nagkakaroon ng hard landing. So, namo-monitor ito. So, nagkakaroon ka na ng predictive na dapat hindi ito mangyari. Or sinasabi to sa piloto, oy, nagkaroon ka ng hard landing. So, binibigyan ng warning. So, they will not do it again. Overspeeding. Nagmadali yung tawag ito, piloto. Kaya, binilisan. So, yun. Yung FDA and FDM is flight data monitoring. So proactive ASR and ASRS. So you should know this also. ASRS. Hmm. Automated storage and retrieval. Ah, okay. ASRS ay Aviation Safety Reporting System. Ayan. Naka-indicate na dyan. So, alam niyo na yan, syempre. So, nagkakaroon kayo ng processes, analysis, and voluntary. Nagsasubmit kayo ng incident report. Very efficient yun. So, katulad ng binigyan natin example, in our organization nagkakaroon ng monthly meeting about safety. So baka meron para na-indicate ng maayos if meron silang nakita. Example, within your department para magkaroon sila ng assessment to it, malesen nila yung risk if meron silang ma-identify. Yun yung sa pinaka-middle. And then, ito din. Reactive, same as ASRS, nagkakaroon pa rin ng reporting. So, efficient. So, nandun na yung low. Siyempre, may nangyari ng aksidente. Kaya, doon na medyo hindi na siya efficient. MOR. Mandatory occurrence reporting, yung MOR. Ayan. So, ayan yung strategies, levels of intervention and tools. Meron kayong to identify the product. So, yun yung pagkakasunod. Siyempre, mas highly efficient si predictive. Siyempre, mas alam mo na yung situation before it happened. That's why nagkakaroon ng control to it. Hindi na mangyayari. Proactive, you're identifying it. You had identified it and doon ka magkakaroon ng action to lessen it, and then reactive, meron ng nangyaring situation and then doon ka palang magkakaroon ng action. So, yan yung pagkakasunod in order to highly efficient to efficient. Yan yung pinaka-low. And another thing is yun nga, is yung reactive pa, wherein nagkaroon na ng accident and incident report. So, meron two kinds ng reactive. So, ayan, kung mapapansin nyo, syempre, ang pinaka-desirable management level when it comes to strategic plan is dapat lagi kayo nag-stay sa proactive and predictive. So, tolerable pa when it comes to that part. Pero pag napunta ka na sa reactive at meron na nangyaring incident or accident, yan, you need to improve your safety management or magkaroon kayo ng re-evaluation agad. Bakit nangyari yung ganong incident or aksidente? So, in safety data collection and analysis, safety data collection and quality, nagkakaroon ng validity. Data collected are acceptable as per established criteria for the intended use. Completeness, no relevant data are missing. Consistency, the extent to which measurement of a given parameter is consistent can be reproduced and avoid errors. Accessibility, data readily available for analysis. Timeliness, data are relevant to the time period of interest and available promptly. So, alam niyo na, syempre dapat hindi luma din. And hindi naman sobrang luma yung data nyo or hindi late yung pag-report, and timeliness kasama yan. Security, data are protected from the inadvertent or malicious alterations. Accuracy, data are error-free. In safety database, ayan, may include the following data or information to support the data analysis. Siyempre, yung accident investigation data, mandatory incident investigation data, malay mo merong voluntary reporting data, Continuing airworthiness reporting data, safety risk assessment data, data from the audit findings or report, data from the safety studies, reviews, and safety data from other states, regional safety, oversights, organizations, or regional accident and incident investigation. Or, ayan. So, if magkakaroon kayo ng data collections, lagi yun yung titignan sa mga ito. Yan. So, safety data analysis, after collecting safety data through various sources, organizations should then perform the necessary analysis to identify the hazard and control their potential consequences. So, in safety data analysis may be used to assist in deciding what additional facts are needed, ascertain the latent factors underlying safety deficiencies, assist in reaching valid conclusions, and monitor and measure safety trends or performance. If you have a analytical methods and tools, meron tayong statistical analysis where the method used to assess the significance of perceived safety trends over depicted in graphical representation of analysis result. Trend analysis, predictions may be made about future events by monitoring the trends in safety data. Normative comparisons, so sampling of real-world experience under similar operating condition. Ayan. So, ulitin natin, ayun yung mga analytical methods and tools. When it comes to types of analysis naman, nakaroon tayo ng descriptive analysis kung ano talaga yung nangyayari. Interferential analysis, ano yung mga posibleng explanation for what is happening right now. Predictive analysis, uh, yung mga future decisions mo na ginawa upon sa nangyari ngayon. What will the effect? Mga ganon. So, ito pala isa. So, in analytical methods and tools, nandito din si simulation and testing, expert panel, cost-benefit analysis. So, in safety management strategies, ito yung summary. So, in reactive method, you should respond to the events na nangyari na, such as incidents and accidents. In proactive, so look for actively for the identification of safety risk through analysis of organizational activities. Kaya nagkakaroon tayo ng mga surveys. Ayun yun. Predictive captures the system performance as it happens in real time, normal operation. In the imperative of change, and the imperative of change, a global activity and complexity continues to grow. Traditionally, methods for managing safety risk to an acceptable level becomes less effective and efficient. Evolving methods for understanding and managing safety risks are necessary. So what do you mean by the changing of guard? So in traditional accidents or serious incident investigation, aviation system performs most of the time as per design specification, compliance-based, and outcome-oriented. So yung pinaka-traditional. In evolving safety management, aviation system does not perform most of the time as per design specification, yun na, or practical drift, performance-based, and process-oriented. Okay, kung titignan nyo, yan, from traditional, syempre, nagbe-base lang tayo sa baseline performance. So, nagbe-base lang tayo sa how we perform, and then pag nagkaroon ng accident, doon lang magkakaroon ng ah, like reaction to what happened. Yan, compliance based, which means, oh, we need to comply this document para safe tayo. We need to do this. Yan, compliance based. And then, yun nga, outcome oriented sila. So, if ito na yung result, okay na yan. So, what are we doing right now is meron tayong safety management. That's why, um, hindi na tayo basta hindi na natin iniintay na magkaroon tayo ng performance or we do things na dapat magawa muna bago tayo gumawa ng action. So, nagkakaroon tayo ng design specifications, nagkakaroon tayo ng data gathering and analysis, performance-based, ayan. So, hindi na tayo din sa compliance-based, more on performance-based on what happened. So, kaya nagkakaroon na tayo ng tamang action to have a risk mitigation. And yun na, process-oriented. So, imbis na after tayo nagkakaroon ng action, ito din, during naman, every time meron tayong action through the process. So, responsibility for managing safety. So, these responsibilities fall into four basic areas: definition, policies, and procedures regarding safety, allocation of resources for safety management activities, adoption of best industry practices, and incorporating regulations governing civil aviation safety. In 8 building blocks of safety management, so the commitment of senior management to the management of safety, effective safety reporting, huwag niyong kakalimutan. Pag safety reporting, it means maganda yung process ng inyong or yung organization. Continuous monitoring through the system for collection, analysis, and safe sharing of safety-related data arising from normal operations, investigations of safety occurrence with the objective of identifying systemic safety deficiencies rather than assigning the blame. Panglima, sharing safety lessons learned and best practices through active exchange of safety information, integration of safety training for operational personnel, effective implementation of standard operating procedures, including the use of checklists and briefing, continuous improvement of overall level of safety. So, in a nutshell, uh, the result of implementing the 8 building blocks ay yung organizational culture that fosters safe practice and encourages effective safety communication and actively management safety with the same attention to result as a financial management. Ayan. So, ito yung safety management process at a glance. So, in safety management process, nandyan yung identify the hazard, you will assess the risk. Siyempre, after assessing it, prioritize it. Kung ito bang effect na to ay malala or not, or need na bang gawin action. Magkakaroon kayo ng develop elimination or mitigation strategies. So, syempre, kung ito ba ay, when you say approve control strategies, yung, syempre, kung tama ba itong ginagawa nyo, yan, or it will help ba to magkaroon ng mitigation in the risk. Oh, sorry. Ayan. Merong assigned responsibilities, implement control strategies, reevaluate control strategies, collect additional data hazard. So, after collecting it, i-assess nyo pa ulit yun. Okay, kung meron pa. If sabihin natin untolerable pa, uulitin ulit yan lahat. Okay, that's why paikot yan. Ayan. Okay. So, ulitin natin, after you evaluate the control strategies, you will, pag na-collect mo yung additional hazard data, i-assess mo ulit yun. And, kakaroon ka ulit ng development and elimination, mitigation strategies. So, that's all. So, hopefully, pinapanood nyo itong video na to dahil magkakaroon tayo ng question and answers. We'll have a long activity on the date provided. Thank you, guys.